Good evening. The Provincial Disaster Management Center has activated centers in various districts of the Free State that will deal with the aftermath of the violent storm that hit large parts of the province yesterday. The storm is one of a kind to be experienced in the province in many years. Parts of Mangaung township in Bloemfontein have been affected.
Teflachte area in Mangaung is hardest hit by the storm. Roofs have been blown off and trees uprooted. This has also been seen in other parts of the city of Bloemfontein. Residents are devastated.
I must laugh and be glad about what happened in my house. Because now my finishers, my brother is sick. I don't know what to do. I'm a pensioner.
Stakeholders have come together to assist. The South African Red Cross Society in the Free State is also on board. Assessments have been conducted and will shortly be followed by humanitarian assistance.
Taflacht was one of the areas that was badly hit by the storm, and then we have done our assessment and we saw some of the houses, the structures have collapsed, some of the roof have completely been blown off, and as a result we have now finalized our assessment in the area, so we move into another area which is phase 5.
The disaster is not confined to Mangaung. There are other affected areas.
We are sure that we will get an assessment report overall later on so that it informs a comprehensive response by government. So the important thing is that for now, communities have also shown a level of resilience. Others are beginning to put together furniture and roofings. But we also call upon members of communities in general so that this becomes a collaborative effort.
According to weather services, more rains are expected. Konelo Lekhafola, SABC News, Bloemfontein.
For more on this, we're now joined by Puseletso Mofokeng, a senior weather forecaster at the South African Weather Service, and he joins us via our video link. Puseletso, thank you so much for joining us this evening here on SABC News. Perhaps let's start off, with the latest coming out from the Free State. And, when you're looking at the storm which has ravaged parts of Mangaung, would you say that this is something that you had already predicted as the Weather Service? Did we expect the storm?
Good evening, Mbali, and good evening to the viewers as well. Yes, this is quite a terrible disaster. However, I must point out that on Tuesday morning, we did actually work out the warning for Wednesday, and having worked out that warning, having reached the consensus with all the officers as the South African Weather Service, we also had issued out messages to the people, and I think that was 24 hours before. Whether it was enough or not, that is another matter, but the warning necessarily was out to the public via disaster management, via the media, over 24 hours before the storm happens.
I'm sure many people living in the Free State are asking themselves, what were the contributing factors to this weather pattern? Why did we see the storm? What caused this very terrible storm that hits many parts of that province?
By all means, Mbali, I do not want to get too much into this question because, as I say, we worked very hard. We decided as the Weather Service, all regions agreeing that there's a potential for the severe thunderstorms. This is because of what the system we call a cut-off low pressure system. It developed from the upper trough. Now I'm becoming technical and I actually don't want to. So the upper trough developed into a cut-off low, which we know that it is associated with a number of extreme weather events. So that is what actually happened. And I'm actually saying this in a very light way. There are actually other many factors that are involved. We assess those. On behalf of the public, we did actually issue the warning. And by all means, we also made sure that the messages are available on our Twitter pages, or rather on our social media pages, both Facebook and X. Everything was there. So even the media, I'm talking about radio, television, they got the message. It's a matter of whether the people receive this message and they actually, obviously there isn't anything you can do when the storm is like this, but at least the least we can do is to protect life. I think that is the most important role that we have been given by the government of South Africa.
And which parts of the Free State would you say were the hotspots for this storm and which were largely affected by this weather pattern?
Well, yesterday there was a storm that ran through Bloemfontein after 5 o'clock. Another one came back around 9 o'clock. I think that was the one that was more intense. Of course, the first one was also intense, but the second one was even more intense. I think it produced a lot of wind. The very damage you are seeing was because of the second storm. And beyond Bloemfontein, we also got reports from Bethlehem. There was a storm that ran overnight there, I think around 8, 9. That storm moved to Bethlehem, to Kwakwa as well. And there was another one, but this one looked very tame. It looked as if there isn't anything on it. It was running through Kroonstad, but at a very fast pace. So in that case, it produced a lot of wind. A lot of things were damaged also in the Kroonstad. So basically, all these events happened within the area that we demarcated as the area that is potential for severe thunderstorms. As of today, I think the worst of the storms that I had seen, although I don't have ground evidence, I just looked at the satellite image, is the storm that developed in the late afternoon around Tabanchu. It moved to Diverstorp, and then it moved towards Welkom. So that was one part of the storm. It was the same storm that actually moved in a circular fashion back to around Welkom. And then there was another storm that actually came from Botswana, moved over Mofokeng. It also moved over Lichtenberg. Later on, it moved over Zeerust. In other words, it was progressing to the east. So basically, that's what we are having currently.
Yeah.
So all that area that we forecasted for severe thunderstorm, actually, we are no longer expecting any severe weather tonight, except for those storms that I mentioned.
And I was about to come to that when it comes to this also trickling through to the likes of Gauteng. And I'm asking this because right here in Auckland Park, we are hearing some sort of thunderstorm outside. And, you know, we are wondering if maybe this thunderstorm has made its way from the Free State to the likes of Gauteng or maybe other parts of the country.
Well, as I've indicated, the storms that we can expect from now will be normal, ordinary storm, no danger in them.
Okay.
And then moving over to tomorrow, I think much of the Free State will have no rainfall. The rainfall that is going to remain will be in the extreme eastern region of the Free State, areas like Memel, Friede, Frankfurt. Those are the areas that will see some few bit of rainfall by tomorrow. Other than that, much of the rainfall will remain over Limpopo, Mpumalanga, and KwaZulu-Natal. There isn't really any severe weather that we have actually issued for now, but we'll keep monitoring. If in case any situation develop, obviously we'll have a shorter time. It may not be over 24 hours, as I said at the beginning. We may actually issue the storm within the last 2 hours, but if and only if something happened. Other than that, we don't expect any severe weather for now. I think much of the heavy rain could be expected from Saturday, going all the way to Monday.
All right then, Puseletso, thank you so much for your time and your contributions on the show. That is Puseletso Mofokeng. He is a senior weather forecaster at the South African Weather Service. Of course, they're giving us that warning, saying that we should not expect any severe thunderstorms, just normal rainfall for now.